Hi and welcome to Anovage Tarot. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at my notes and like I might just literally read it word for word because this is a very interesting and vast topic and I might just go off track. So bear with me on this one. Choose the best mode to listen to it, audio only, audio, video, both, whichever. Okay, so I've been on this journey since 2012, but the idea of recreating my life um, came to me or hit me in 2019. There was a particular incident that happened in my life, and I received a clean slate for the rubbish that I did, and and when that happened, something told me that I could do this with my entire life. I can recreate my entire life. And ever since then, I've been working towards that, creating a new life, a different life. Now, from my understanding, creating a different life, what it would look like to me is probably it would be the same situation, but doing it differently, doing it with more comfort and ease until I know, because I don't know what I want in the next step. Okay, I know like what is happening right now is comfortable. There are things that I want absolutely gone from my life, but I can't have them gone right now, and so I have to work towards having them gone, but then I also have to get comfortable with having them in my life as of now. And since they are in my life, I do not want it to give me grief and sorrow, and so I want it to be there, but in a non-bothersome way, in a non-bothering way. And so I'm making choices in that direction where things are the way they are, but they don't bother me anymore like they would. So it's more peaceful. Like basically that's what I want peace in whichever situation or circumstance I am in. I should be able to have peace in my life. I should be able to have freedom of where to use my time and how to use my time, freedom of how I want to feel every day, freedom of finances, and freedom to fulfill the wants and desires that I have for myself. Right, so that is what I wanted, and that is what I've been working towards. And I feel like I am now at a point where I feel I can talk about this and I can share my story, because probably I haven't, because I haven't got there, but it's not that I haven't got there. I haven't got there in the way that I'm imagining it to be, or I want it to physically look like, but it does feel like where I want it to be. If that makes sense. Okay, I have to keep saying if that makes sense, if that makes sense. I'm so worried that I'm probably not using the right sentences or the words to express, but we won't go there. Okay, so now I wanted to talk about creating the life that you want. Okay, all of my videos are related to each other in the topics and the ideas that I talk about in all of these videos, because they are all different. They're all things leading to the same goal. Yeah, so different areas combining towards the same goal. I cannot put it into one video, and so there's different areas that I'm talking and addressing differently. If you guys would like to check that out. So in today's video, I want to talk about the energy of the creator, or the energy of creation within us, and how we can create the life that we want, at least according to me, at least for whatever I have done or achieved or accomplished in my life till now. standing from there, this is my take on this idea. So I feel like creating is very different from manifesting, because when we are creating, we are actually doing the work. It's not like we're not doing anything. I wrote I want 10,000 rupees in one paper and burnt it, and suddenly 10,000 rupees fell in my doorstep. It's not that. It's creating, consciously creating the life that you want. And this process does not just bring you the life or give you the life that you want, but it actually makes it permanent, because you're creating it. So you're creating, like, the source of the fill that is coming, if that's a word. Guys, you really have to forgive my vocabulary. Sometimes I make up my own words, but yeah. So so where the fill for that, whatever it is that you're creating, is coming from. If it is finances, where is your source coming from? If it is happiness, where's your source coming from? If it is love, where's your source coming from, right? And so so because you're understanding where the source is, you're working with the source, that you're creating this permanency of it in your life. So it's not going to be here today and go away tomorrow. The method is tedious because it involves conscious choices in your everyday life, and conscious choice is the choice of actions and feeling or emotions towards the end goal feeling. Okay, so how I want to feel, like I said, I want peace and happiness. So the steps I would take towards peace and happiness in today, what I can take, what is in front of me. So that's the reason why this process is a very slow, very, very tedious process, because you cannot make a choice today and have it all manifest tomorrow. It's one choice at a day. That's why it's creation. It's like literally creating your life one thought at a time, one day at a time, and the energy that you're investing in one day at a time. It's all of those things. In the process, we face fear on a day-to-day basis and learn more each day how to best overcome it according to the person that I am and the situation I'm in, and the tolerance or the for the responsibility of the consequences of my choices. So this is talking about knowing your strengths. And so you would have, like, to get to this point, you have to have done shadow work enough to know who you are right now. You might not know everything about yourself. We're constantly discovering, but to a point where you're consciously aware of every action, everything that is happening within you in the moment. It doesn't matter whether you're consciously aware of your environment, but consciously aware of what is happening within you in that moment, and what you are thinking, saying, being, choosing in that moment. And so if anyone has reached this point, a higher love, spiritual logic, and self-awareness, this is part of your nature now. Like, you have already done that much work, and now this is just how you flow. So even by mistake, you cannot hurt somebody. Like, again, there's a lot of meanings to hurting people, but I'm saying, like, intentionally hurting someone, that is not something that you would do at this point, even by mistake, because you're always thinking. Okay, and even if you do at this point, like, you are at a point where you can accept, okay, yeah, I missed this, I didn't see it, I didn't realize, I didn't think, this is my fault, and you take responsibility for actions in that situation. So then, you, in the next time you're in the situation, this memory would like be there, the awareness of the situation would be there, but you don't bring in the emotion of it, like, the fear of it, or the anger of it. You don't bring in the emotion, you bring in the memory of the incident, whatever. Hope this is making sense. At this point, I want to say I have a ton of videos on YouTube that talk about the mindset, and to get there, for whoever is interested. This is a very slow process, and it is controlled and shifted from the mind. And so the videos talk very briefly to give you an idea you can take for the day and see how it works for you. So one point I want to share as a starter to this experience, for anybody that wants to experience this, if once you've reached this point and you want to experience this, this, I don't know what it is, these words, I will call them words. If anybody has a better label for it, then please share. But when you but understanding these words, that everything is and is not at the same time, it's very, like understanding this is kind of a game changer. If you can understand this concept or idea or whatever you want to call this. So once you understand this concept, you start applying it to every area of your life that you want to change. So when you say everything is and isn't at the same time, if I want it to be, it is, and if I don't want it to be, it is not. Okay, again, I will say this: if you have reached this point, spiritual logic, I already mentioned, that is part of your thinking process. So you would understand what I mean by if it is and it isn't. Like, I'm not talking about the physicalness, but I'm talking about the energy of it. Okay, sometimes we find ourselves in situations where the situation is not as bad as we imagine it to be, and in that imagination we go down a whole different spiral, and we drop down to that level of energetic vibration. But if we can understand this, it helps shift, grab those thoughts when they are spiraling and shift it into a different emotion, if that's the word you want to put in there. Okay, so while you're doing this, you also need to remind yourself of this concept every day, to be able to see beyond the 3D of the physical situation that is happening, and how to avoid it or change it in your mind. One way I understood was that so for me, I understood that I'm a very heart-centered person. Like, this comes to me very naturally. My heart center is very active. Okay, so I'm very emotional by nature, and because of which I have the capacity of extreme emotions. Either ways, like extreme emotions, I have capacity for that. Yes, I suffer from depression now and then, not all the time, but I also have a very strong and powerful mind. Okay, and I think it is the guidance of my heart center that gives strength to the mind, and the ability to control my thoughts and my mind through my emotions and my heart. So like, the mind does not allow the emotions to get too much, and the emotions don't allow the mind to get too much. Like, I've managed to find that balance, because I know that these two things are there within me. And so I think like this knowing helps me, stick to the path and to trust and accept the consequences of my choices. My mind keeps weighing all situations from all angles. So I have anxiety. I am an avid overthinker, but this is because I understand these parts of me. I understand how to use it, to, instead of taking me down, how I can use it to to change my life, to shift my life, how I can use it as a my strength, basically. So you need to understand what is your dominant space and go from there, but always go through the heart. Okay. Like, really important to understand that any choice, any decision made from the heart is the right way. It has to be love for self and everybody around me. That is divine love. And even in that moment, if you're the one who is going to run at a loss in that moment, like, know that this is going to come back. Like, you have to know that this is going to come back. At this point, I feel like, that knowing is something you already know at this point, because you have seen it. You have had the courage to be led by the heart and see how the seeds have been planted and how they can be harvested. When they are harvested, how they come back to you. You've already witnessed this by now. And so, because this is a non-physical form to see the non-physical things, the actions also need to be able to take us, or to be able to get us to that non-physical state. So meditation in any form, walking, running, cleaning, listening to music, in any form, meditation is important to bring energy into alignment with the actions, and hence align body, mind, and soul. Okay, so that is thought, intention, and action being in alignment. And this is where this is where the shift happens. The moment you are able to see the patterns and take different steps or actions, you shift timeline little by little. You shift your timeline, and that is how you create the life that you want. So if this topic, like, this is really vast, and I literally had to read from my notes to be able to stay on track, and even then, I don't know if I did a very good job, but I have to watch the video and know that. And if you like this topic and you want to understand more, all my info is in the bio. My most preferred way of contact would be DM, comments, and WhatsApp. It's the fastest way to get to me. But having said that, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this makes sense. And let me know if there's something that I missed out and needs more explaining, or anything more that you would like to know about this. Do leave your comments, and I will give you more details on this. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Love and light. Bye.